Eta, welcome to a brand new edition of Insta Chat with the Journalist. And my guest today is Lomnyama, aka Charles Mnisi, aka the Prince SA. You know, this guy had so many AKAs. So, yeah, man, we'll be just chatting to him. He just dropped an album in December. And, DJ. He's a club DJ as well. He's also an artist. And yeah, I can't wait to chat to him to get to know him better. Hey, Lomnyam, how are you, brother? Lomnyama WaseGame, Ogren. Hey, I can't hear you, bro. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, I know. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I
Is it
think it
way
was on
better?
Bluetooth. Yeah, it's better now. I think maybe your speakers were on Bluetooth or something. How are you,
Yeah,
brother?
I'm great, brother. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good, man. Thank you so
Um,
much for making time, for this chat today. Yeah, I noticed that, you went from Prince SA to Lomnyama. So can you just, first of all, just tell us, about yourself. Who's Charles Mnisi?
I born and raised a game, Ebo. Game is a kasi in Nelspruit, close to Hazy View. That's where I was born and brought. So I'm just a simple dude from a kasi who's passionate
Oh,
about
okay.
music, passionate about the industry, and very passionate about community building.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know. I've never heard of, a game. So your township, your hood is called Game.
Yeah, my kasi is called Game. So the main city is Nelspruit, and then the town is Hazy View. So the kasi where I stay, it's a game. We call it a game.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Game. Shout out to Nelspruit. I think I've been there once. I remember it being a very lively city. I think there's like um, not a mine, but there's a big company there that everybody works at. I forgot what it is, but yeah, many years ago.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, man, so you used to be called Prince SA, and then now you called Lomnyama. How did that? Why did you change the name?
I didn't really change the name per se because I'm the prince. I'm a multifaceted entertainer, man. Like I do radio,
Mm.
presenting, I do content production, club DJ, all star, play everything, and music producer. So now the Lomnyama brand is a performing artist who's not just behind the desks, as a producer, as a DJ. Now he's on the forefront.
Okay, no, okay, cool. I
Yes.
see. And it's people that like you are very smart because you can never run
Thank you.
out of a job because now, when clubs are closed, sure you feel it in your pocket, but you can still present. You still have, a radio show to go to. So tell me
Yeah.
about your radio journey.
Radio journey, radio and music. I think I'm very passionate about both because those are the things that I wanted to do them. From
Mm.
childhood. I started doing radio in 2007 at Radio TEF. It's a community radio station at Varsity. And
Mm.
then I was part of the first team that built, the first on-air personnel to launch Capricorn FM.
Mm.
It was the first commercial radio station in Limpopo. And
Mm.
then I worked there for 5.5 years. And then I got recruited by the SABC, Ligwalagwala FM, and yeah, that's as far as my radio journey is concerned.
Wow, I remember when Capricorn FM was launching, they said it was going to be the YFM of Limpopo, and it was. I think it's even bigger in that
Yeah,
province.
it became bigger, man, because we had Ashifa Shaba, we had Given Curry, who was the founder of the station, I mean, as a new station at the time, as the new commercial youthful station at the time, we had amazing talent. I think I was blessed to be in the midst of greatness at the time. So I think the recruitment process at the time was very spot on, and the people of Limpopo loved it. So it was a very big commercial radio station. I think we had about 1.5 mil in our first year, so that was huge.
And then, what have you taken from your radio journey? What have been some of the lessons that you are now using to take, obviously like your music career, to the top?
Radio has given me the platform to come across a lot of musicians. I love learning. You know what I mean? So it's a platform where you get to learn a lot of things if you use it right, man. So I got to meet all these exciting producers, all these musicians that I did interviews with, and shared my journey and my vision around the music side of it, because I wanted to learn more about production and what it takes for one to grow and to build an empire, for instance, and also to develop communities and also enhance the local talent. So it gave me the connection and the plug to meet a lot of people that were very impactful. Yeah.
Okay, and obviously, like you said earlier, that radio and music is your passion. When it comes to music, right? Tell me about your DJing journey. Like, when did you start DJing? You start DJing with vinyl, CDs, USBs. When did you start getting into the vibe professionally?
I didn't play a lot of vinyls, but when I started learning, let me just put it out there. A lot of what I do is self-taught, Of course, I'm a curious being. I learn, like I said. So the DJing aspect of it, I started through the vinyls, but at the time when I started learning, I was lucky. It was the introduction of CDJs. You know what I mean? So it was that I used to lock myself in the studio. In fact, I started learning how to DJ when Capricorn FM was launched, because the whole setup was there, and at the time nobody had CDJs or the equipment to practice and all those things. So luckily for me, we had the equipment, so I started practicing using the CDJs and CDs at the time, and then later on USBs. Yeah.
And looking at the trend right now, there's a lot of DJs. There's always a debate between DJs that play with the CDJs and USBs. There was a debate there, and then now the modern decks, you can just sync. You don't need to beat match anymore. Do you think it's still important to know how to beat match as a modern DJ?
I think DJing music is art, man. Radio is art. So I think if we give it that respect, you'll understand where the mixing, you'd understand the importance of learning how to mix, the pleasures that comes or the joy that comes with, looking for a pitch and searching for all those things. So I think for me, you mentioned CDJs and USBs. CDJs, they play USBs and they play CDs. So those that use computer mixing. So it's their preference. But for me, I prefer searching for the pitch of a song, and that's where the art is at, the creativity there, and not the easy way out.
Okay, and then obviously you are full circle. You're on radio, you DJ, and in December you dropped like a full project, an album. Yeah, man. Tell us about that album for those that they may not know.
That's my first debut album as Lomnyama. It dropped in December first week. It was just an introduction. We're pushing the album this year. It's called Pusher. Amazing body of work. It's got a South African sound and influence that comes from the old school Kwaito days, man, merging into the current sound that is there, trying to be relevant. It's 10-track album. It features the amazing Afro traction. There's a song we did called Ngibambe. And then it features Masingane, who's a well-seasoned musician from Bombela as well. It features Senior General. It features DJ Mzara, a brand new artist. Look out for him. He signed under my stable CLM Productions. It's got the beautiful LT. It has got a lot of guys, man, that are there that made it possible. It's a beautiful project. There's Africa Soul, who executively produced the album. and there were guys who were influential in the project as well. So the sound, it's South African dance, you know. It's like I said, it's a bit of piano-ish, but it's unique in its own way. Like as I said, the inspiration draws from the likes of Do. If you listen to it, you hear that there's a bit of kwaito in it. Yeah.
And one of the songs, you know, became big. One of the songs from the album is on the top 20 chart, Ligwalagwala FM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that single?
It's the lead single for the album. It's called Dlalisimpahla. It's getting love, man. People are receiving it well. It's building up nicely. It's on the top 30 charts, top 30 charts rather, at the SABC in Bombela, and we just received reports that it's been approved in probably 5 more bigger radio stations. In the next coming weeks, it's gonna be on their platform as well. So it's good news, man. We're gonna be shooting the video in the next coming weeks, and we're planning a tour for the album as soon as it is settled, because you see the situation in our country right now, so it forces us to go visual. So we're planning something along those lines.
And you know, you also own a record label. I assume that you signed to yourself. You know, what are some of the highlights of, you know, having your own label and signing yourself and signing other artists?
It's a business decision. I'm a businessman as well, you know, so it's a business venture. Earlier when we started, I mentioned that I love community development. So having my own thing, and you also asked me about radio, what I've learned over the years and how it has helped me grow. And I've also emphasized the fact that I love learning. So all these people that I've met, I wanted to own my own, you know what I mean? And start something that I can also empower other people around me with time. So that was the main goal around it. So it's not easy though to run a label, because everything is before you. You have to make sure that everything gets done. But it's exciting, man.
Okay. And then in terms of your label, how many artists do you have? And I'm sure a lot of guys always want to come in and then you know, they want you to sign them. So how many artists do you have, first of all, and what is your process of discovering artists?
I've got myself, Lomnyama, there's the Princess A, there's Kingsman, there's DJ Mzala, and then there's Africa Soul, like, and then there's Bello. There's like 5 musicians that are there. And I think I come across a lot of talented musicians. Mpumalanga has got a lot of talent, man, untapped talent. So through my community work that I do, go to schools, you get a lot of people coming on forth, you know, want to learn music, want to learn how to DJ, and always, not everybody else that loves the art has it to make it, you know. Some, they have the will to do it, but you find that music is broad, you know. They cannot be a good musician, but they can be a great writer, as an example. So I love mentoring them and coming across all different kinds of talents. And with time, hopefully we'll add more musicians. But for now, those are the ones that I'm working with.
And you know, it sounds like, you know, your vision for Mpumalanga is you know, you're headed towards the same direction as you know, as Tira, you know, what he's doing in KZN. You know, would you say that, like, do you have big plans for Mpumalanga?
I'm not the only musician in the province, man. I draw inspiration from a lot of other musicians that are there that have been doing it. But obviously my vision, like you were asking, comparing it to Tira, mine is just to develop talent, you know, and make sure that the province, there are guys that have been on the forefront who've been doing well, who've taken the Mpumalanga province flag musically to the world, you know. They've won awards. If you think Mpumalanga, you think Ray Perry, you think Stimela, you know what I mean? You think KO, you think Afro Traction, you think Rebecca Malupe. I can go on and on. These are stars. So I just want to follow to that, and to those footsteps. I mean, the idols have been coming from Mpumalanga, you know what I mean? So there's Brandon here, there's Musa, there's the new girl that won as well. So yeah, we've got talent in the province. So just want to throw in there and just contribute something.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is that I'm just thinking more towards, like, you know, house music and dance. You know, like, I know in KZN, obviously, like, you know, there are many legends there that were there way before Tira. But I'm just, you know, thinking about and analyzing your movements, you know, and I see that, you know, that you're a mastermind, like you've got a plan going, obviously, to grow the scene that side. And for me, it's it's exciting to see. I was talking to Cuba, who's also from Mpumalanga, and he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
also like telling me about the movement that side, the house
yeah, yeah,
music movement that side. But he's
yeah,
more on the deep house tip, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listening to your music and looking at your movement, I can see that you have more of a commercial appeal. Am I right by saying
Yeah.
that your stuff is commercial?
I'd rather say it's a bit of both. Commercially, yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
do music, man. I think the fact that I've been on radio for some time helps me because you sit there, you sit across people that normally decides what kind of sound goes, and you get to learn and experience. So the sound is very important for me to create
Mm.
something that I know that will be well received, at least on radio and radio friendly as well. But I love music all around.
Mm. Yo, bro, last question, actually, second last question, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
It looks like it's going to be another tough year for the entertainment game.
yeah.
Lomnyama, Prince SA, what are your projections for the year 2021?
Yo, it's tough with the pandemic at our midst, to really, really, really. You can only hope for the best and prepare yourself for the worst, just in case it happens, because we had a unplanned lockdown, and our industry is the first one to close and the last one to open. So I think let's wait and see. But let's say whether there's COVID or no COVID, there's plans in place, because it means now we have to diversify and look at other ways of surviving. Like right now, the world is moving towards digital. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm.
something that gradually you have to get used to and see how we monetize it with the live shows, because we've got a following as we speak. How
Mm.
do we capture that audience and make sure that and also it will help to get more funding, because we can plan, but if they shut down the country, for instance, and you had a plan to promote the album with shows, and that's the big part of our industry. People, they love going out and clubbing, but without them, then you have to diversify and regroup and restructure your brand accordingly.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how the year is gonna pan out. And
Yeah,
obviously you've got a fresh project that just dropped in December.
yeah.
And so my last question is, in terms of music, are you gonna be releasing anything for the rest of the year? You or your label?
So far this year, we're pushing the album. Lomnyama Pusha album is out. It's a 10-track album. It's got the lead singles Larissa Mpahla featuring Senior General LT and DJ Mzala. That's the main album that we're pushing this year. We're going to be shooting a couple of videos for the singles on the album, about 3. And then there's DJ Mzala, who's going to be releasing his EP. There's Kingsman, who's going to be releasing his EP. There's Africa Soul, who's going to be dropping his EP as well. And there's DJ, one of the best, almost forgot to mention impaired, but he's a great music producer and DJ. So he's also dropping his EP. So
Mm. Mm. Well, bro. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no. Look, man, thank you so much for your time, brother. We're rooting for you. Hopefully, when the country things go back to normal, we'll tour Mpumalanga and then we'll link up for a face-to-face interview. Thank you so much for your time, brother. Yo, Lomnyama WaseGame. I think I'm losing. Yo, no, I lost him for a bit. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Uh, no, he's coming back. I lost him. I lost him. But he was saying goodbye, and then I
yeah,
left him.
man, the network is bad. I lost you there
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second.
because I lost you there for a second. Yeah, no, sorry,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, no, you were saying your goodbyes.
Yeah, man. I was just saying thanks to everybody who's been watching. Please go out and check out the album, man. It's Lomnyama WaseGame Pusha album out with the lead single Dlali Simpasha featuring Senior General LT DJ Mzala. This song is got a potential to be one of the biggest songs. In fact, let me just predict it. It's going to be in the top 5 of the biggest songs in 2021.
Awe. Danke,
Yeah.
Siyabonga. And you heard it here first on the journalistdj.com. Awe.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Peace.